All right, thank you for coming on here, Ben, to answer some questions. If you don't know Ben, Ben is the designer on the Blaston team, so we'll have a few really nice answers because we have some questions lined up from the community. And one of the first ones starting off was, why did you make a single player campaign, which is a part of the Crackdown update?
Yeah, so we made it because we want to give a helping hand for new players to really get cemented in the game. We found that going straight into dueling can be a little bit daunting for some people, but this gives them a nice way to enter and see what Blaston's about. The single player campaign might be a little bit easy for people in Overlord at the moment, but there's some good rewards there as well. So this way, hopefully, we're going to get some more people playing Blaston, some longer life from the people playing Blaston, and then that benefits everyone. So there'll be more people online all the time for everyone to be playing.
That's great. And I mean, what isn't easy for Overlord players, am I right? Like, it's kind of hard to design something when you have these extremely good players in the game. But
Exactly.
so in the single player campaign, we're introducing something called the mod ops, which is like the people that you go up against. So can you like a bit, I guess, describe them a bit more, so to introduce them to the community, because they're pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, so as we know, we've had some visitors in some previous tournaments, the Octo Agents. Now, they were just doing a reconnaissance mission, and their parent company, the Octo Presence, they've decided that Blaston, it's an illegal game, and everyone's having a little bit too much fun. So they've taken over some of the neotechs, or the current characters that you're using now, the neotechs, and they've converted them to be mod ops. And they're going to test your wits, test your skills, and see what this is all about.
That's really interesting, because I'm not sure if I guess now is the time where people will realize that there is actually a world to Blaston. I think the team has been aware of this like before this, but it's now getting kind of introduced to the game and to the players as well, so it's really fun to see. And obviously the mod ops being led by Argentia, it's going to be really fun because she has so much personality. I guess it's been really fun to, design her as well, and the fights leading up to her. Speaking of...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, speaking of the favorite designs and stuff, we actually had a question that was like, what was your favorite weapon to this design? Because I think that you've been very involved when it comes to the balancing and like introducing the new weapons to the game, right?
Yeah, there's been a couple of fun ones, but I would have to say I'm going to be a little bit boring here and say that it's going to be the Viper Ellipse. It's extremely fun to use. Going back, it's the first one that I was actually beating everyone with as well, because I had a lot of time to practice. Yeah. I had a lot of time to practice and taught Woody a few tricks. I wish I didn't teach him. But now I have to prepare myself before I go into any of those Overlord matches. It's got going to Blaston VR War. But yeah, it'd have to be the Viper Lips. There's a higher skill cap on it. And
skill curve. Well, that's kind of
skill curve. Yeah, skill curve.
But I guess as a follow-up question, was the inspiration for that design from the Wanted movies, or was that just like it just happened to be similar?
There's definitely a little bit of you can see it a little bit in there. I think the motivation really was to create a weapon that was easy to use but hard to master, and hopefully we're going to be bringing out a lot more of those pretty soon as well.
Yeah. All right. Great. Thanks. And so obviously the patch notes will go live pretty much when this is airing now, but one of the questions, and I can almost assume who sent this question in, but the question was, will the Quicksilver get a buff? Which is very specific, but it's the tether weapon if you're new to Blaston.
Wesso. I'm almost guaranteeing it's Wesso. Look, we're working on it. We're going to see what we can do. You'll see now. the updates coming out right now, and you'll see that we've been working on a lot of different balances which can buff the Quicksilver a little bit. We're going to continue working on it. I think it's a great concept. It hasn't got its a solid place yet, but if we continue working on it and we can't necessarily buff it completely, there might be a rework.
All right, and that's interesting. I mean, I think as far as since I've joined the team, it feels like we're no stranger to actually like redesigning or changing the weapons at all if we feel that they're wrong, and especially with new weapons being introduced too. So it's kind of almost like a follow-up question too. But one of the questions was that like. Has there been a main focus for this update in terms of balance of the weapons? Because we've had an update previously, I think it was almost called the Nova Helix update because it was focused on that. But what has been the main focus of the balance for this one?
So the main focus for this one, we've been hard at work on the single player campaign. And as everyone knows, we were updating monthly with a new weapon. We took this opportunity to really hone down on the meta and buff particular weapons to make sure that more weapons were viable in more decks at the moment. So there's no new weapon for this update. There's new weapons coming, but we really wanted to kind of clean up the gameplay a little bit for this one.
All right, and I'm really excited to see how people will kind of develop the meta. Now I feel like we've kind of stabilized in the previous update, but with the Crackdown update, I'm excited to see how it will change people's loadouts. So you kind of mentioned that, but one of the questions were also if we are working on new updates, and I guess you can confirm that it actually is a plan to have new weapons, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some really cool, exciting things coming for the second half of this year. Not sure how much I could say, but I will say it's in our mind. We want to release more skillful weapons, easy to learn, hard to master, and some other surprises as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ben, for answering a few of the questions from the community. It's been really nice to hear more from you, and I think we'll find out more about the design and the lore of the game moving forward with the Blaston's updates. So thank you.
Yeah, enjoy the update.